How I love Cartoon Network. I spent hours watching it as a kid. If you experienced the golden era of Cartoon Network, you're gonna love this video, where I've put together the best shorts that aired during commercial breaks. But there's something the network hid from you, some exclusive shorts that you've never seen. Super cool animated shorts that were made only for certain countries, meaning you've never seen them in your entire life. And besides being amazing and hilarious, they were a big part of our childhood and feature some of the best and biggest crossovers in Cartoon Network history. So let's get started. Welcome to Cine Lovers, Ben 10 and Heroes. Let's talk about the short titled Which Ben? In this one, we see Wonder Woman, Superman, and Aquaman telling Batman that he's jealous of Ben 10. If you don't remember this short, don't worry. Like I said at the beginning of the video, Cartoon Network hid it from you. That's because it was produced at Hookup Animation in Argentina and was only aired in Latin American countries. Interestingly, there is a version with the original English voices, but it was only used as a reference for dubbing in other countries and was never officially released in the United States. Back to the short. While the heroes are talking about Ben 10, they start telling Batman that he doesn't have superpowers. Then Ben walks in, grabs a sandwich, offers it to Aquaman, and asks Batman for an autograph. He even says he used to have Superman-themed pajamas, which makes the heroes super happy since the kid actually liked them. The short ends with them realizing that Aquaman is eating a tuna sandwich, meaning he's eating fish. And if you look closely at the TV in the background, it's playing Ben 10, and you can even see Heat Blast on the screen. Professor Utonium. This next short features Professor Utonium from the Powerpuff Girls in a parking lot, searching for his car keys. Right at the beginning, you can see Johnny Bravo walking in the background, and Ed from Ed, Edd n Eddy is there with the professor. He soon realizes he left his keys inside the car and thinks the door is locked. That's when number 1 from Kids Next Door shows up offering to help. Meanwhile, Dexter walks by, mocking the professor. Then Mandy from the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy arrives and tells him to try opening the door. And it turns out it was never locked. Number 1 even brought some wooden planks for who knows what reason. I really love this short because it has a well-balanced crossover with different Cartoon Network characters. Yogi Bear gets denied. I absolutely love this one. In this short, Yogi Bear gets denied entry into the Cartoon Network studios because he forgot his ID badge, and the security guards have no idea who he is. Throughout the scene, tons of Cartoon Network characters pass by. Ed shows up again, Dexter, Dick Dastardly, and many others. One really cool thing about this short is that it mixes animation with live action. So, Yogi Bear is stuck outside, and they just won't let him in. One part that I really enjoy is when Boo Boo walks by, and Yogi asks him to say they're together. Yogi is absolutely sure the guards know who he is and insists he doesn't need a badge. After all, he's Yogi Bear. But the guards start throwing out random names, trying to remember who he is. Meanwhile, there's a huge poster of him in the background that nobody even notices. Another fun detail is that if you look closely, the 4 TVs above the guards are all playing Yogi Bear cartoons. He gets super frustrated and just walks away. I love how this short treats the characters like they're real actors coming into the studio to film. It's such a fun concept. Cartoon Network Toon Cup. This short is a soccer match between several Cartoon Network characters and 3 real-life soccer players, one of them being Ronaldo. The professor from the Powerpuff Girls is the referee. This short came out in 2005, which means it's already 20 years old. At the beginning, the Cartoon Network team dominates the game, scoring tons of goals. They play a little dirty, but they actually play well, quickly building a 12-0 lead. Then, the real players start making a comeback, traveling across the Cartoon Network world while scoring goals. There's even a funny moment where a monster stops in the middle of the match to ask Ronaldo for an autograph. Eventually, the score ties up at 12-12. That's when Bugs Bunny shows up and sneakily places a bomb inside the ball. Classic Bugs move, right? The ball turns into a game of hot potato, getting passed around from one character to another until it finally reaches Blossom. She kicks it, and instead of scoring, she accidentally hits a bird. This short is pretty long, running for about 4 minutes, and it's a really fun watch. Lunchroom Chaos. This short takes place in the Cartoon Network cafeteria during lunchtime. Sheep, that little sheep from Sheep in the Big City, enters the cafeteria looking for a place to sit. As he searches, we see different tables, one with Scooby-Doo and Dino, another with Yogi Bear and his gang. Sheep finally spots an empty chair, but just as he's about to sit down, Fred from Scooby-Doo rushes in and takes it first. He finds another seat, but this time, Mojo Jojo sits down before him, and that's when we realize it's a table full of villains. Just when it seems like Sheep has nowhere to go, Velma invites him to sit at her table. However, the villains start mocking her for it. In response, Velma gives an adorable little speech, standing up for Sheep. But instead of inspiring everyone, it backfires. The entire cafeteria turns on her, and she ends up getting hit with a bunch of food. Poor Velma. She was just trying to help. But honestly, the whole scene is hilarious. The race. This one is hilarious. It starts with the Flash and Roadrunner casually walking out of a store and onto the sidewalk. Since they're both known for their insane speed, they exchange looks, clearly challenging each other. At first, they just walk a little faster, but soon, they're sprinting at full speed. As they zoom by, they pass Speedy Gonzalez, who's chilling and having a few drinks with his friends. Seeing the race, Speedy jumps in, turning it into a full-on competition between the three speedsters. They race through all sorts of places, even underwater at one point. Flash cramps up for a second but quickly recovers, and they keep going. Their route takes them through Mexico, Argentina, and even Brazil, where we get a little samba vibe in the background. Eventually, they all get exhausted and stop to catch their breath, but not for long. The moment they recover, they're back at it again. These guys just can't help themselves. Jetsons. This one was made for the couch potatoes. In this short, George Jetson and his entire family are standing on a carpet, thinking it's a moving walkway that has stopped working. His wife starts worrying, asking how they're supposed to get anywhere if the walkway isn't moving. The only solution, walking. But since they haven't walked in so long, they have no idea how to do it anymore. They spend an entire day just trying to cross the building's lobby. At the end, there's a nice message encouraging kids to stay active and exercise. Fred the Answerman. I think almost everyone has seen this short because it went viral and was a big hit. In it, Fred from Scooby-Doo talks about how people always asked him about the scarf he wore, and his response was always this.
Why don't you mind your own business, pal? I'm a...
This short is really funny because we would never imagine Fred cursing like that. After that, he says that there's no need to be afraid to express yourself, and that style always comes first. It's simply hilarious. If you love the old cartoons just like I do, make sure to click on these videos to binge watch the content I made about this huge nostalgia. Thank you so much for watching until the end, and I'll see you in the next video here on Cine Lovers.